I did something most people in tech would call crazy. I walked away from a senior leadership position at Google. The truth is, big tech jobs still pay a lot, give you a great brand for your resume, and are a good place to work for most people. If that's what you're chasing, there's a whole library of content on CareerZ Cast to help you get there. But today, I will share some objective data and my honest opinion on why a big tech job might not be a great place to start a tech career in 2025. If you work in technology, you do not want to miss this. Welcome to CareerZ Cast. I have had a front seat to all of this, and I want to give you a real, unfiltered look at what's happening inside big tech. I won't spill any company secrets, but my goal is to give you an insight you can actually use. And while I'll be talking a lot about Google, you should know that the same arguments apply to other major players like Meta, Amazon, Netflix, and Apple. You're watching this because you want the whole story. So before we get to the red flags, let's quickly hit the reasons why everyone wants to work there. Awesome compensation. Google targets to pay more than 90% of all companies in any market it is in. Here in Silicon Valley, that means compensation that's about twice the median market salary. A software engineer grad hired as a level 4 software engineer gets a total compensation of about $250,000 a year, which is a lot of money. Free lunch. Most people have heard about the free food in the cafeterias staffed with professional chefs. Google offers other benefits, think coverage to healthcare insurance or leave policies that tend to be better and more generous than what you get in small companies or other industries. Prestige and reputation. Having Google in your resume will make getting your next job easier. And I remember how impressive I sounded when I told people what I did for a living. Today, when I say I'm a consultant and I do YouTube videos to help others, people look at me with worry and ask if I need help finding a real job. It just shows me how powerful that big tech brand still is. Innovation and impact. Big tech companies do big tech things that can change the world. It is becoming more difficult to feel like that, but there is still a sense of impact. For example, when I was leading the technology for consumer operations, we were always aware that anything we did, no matter how small, would affect the experience of billions of people. Workplace and networking. Because it's not easy to be hired by Google, Googlers tend to be higher achievers, which creates an environment that can be creative, high productivity, pushing everyone to learn and grow faster. Bottoms up culture. This one is huge. Big tech has always been known for a culture that encourages you to think independently, challenge the status quo, and take ownership. Managers are not supposed to be all-knowing bosses. They are there to create an environment where you can be collaborative and listen to diverse perspectives. For creative, smart people, this kind of freedom is a huge draw. But here's the catch, things are changing. If you have friends in big tech or follow the news, you have heard of the quiet layoffs happening since 2023. These companies grew like crazy during the pandemic and now they are scaling back. While Google continues to pay above market, perks and benefits have declined as companies try to control costs. While Google data centers are receiving a lot of investment, elsewhere there has been a slowdown in hiring and promotions. So while Googlers still make a lot of money, career progression has slowed for most people. Hiring has shifted from high-cost centers like Silicon Valley and New York City to lower-cost centers like Toronto for roles in North America and Hyderabad for global roles. With all that happening, morale is down, people are feeling anxious, and the culture at some of these companies is shifting from creative bottoms up to a more traditional top-down approach. We have seen this play out most dramatically at Meta. The question is why? These are some of the most successful companies in history. Why change what has been working so well. Let's look now at the real cause of the big tech slowdown. Time is everything. I joined Google as a senior director of technology in July of 2020. I was a bit of an anomaly, as it is rare for Google to hire senior leadership from the outside the company. After I settled in, I noticed something very peculiar. With very few exceptions, all my peers in Google senior leadership were from a very specific cohort. Grads from a prestigious school who worked in management consulting for a few years and then joined Google before 2012. Now, merit and hard work are necessary to climb the corporate ladder, especially at Google. But that alone does not explain why most successful people at Google are from this very specific group. That anomaly is key to understand everything that's happening in big tech right now. The operating model that has been so successful and made so many of their employees wealthy was built on one single thing, which is the constant high growth. When I joined in 2020, we are still in hypergrowth mode, planning to hire 20% more employees each year. That kind of growth creates a career conveyor belt. New people comes in, there is a demand for more managers to hire and manage them. More managers justify more directors, and everyone gets pushed up the ladder. Googlers got used to be promoted every couple of years with the titles and salary increases that come with that. Let me show you the graph plotting the numbers of employees of Meta and Alphabet as an illustration. Notice that both companies were growing exponentially up to a 2022 peak. So the hypergrowth conveyor belt stopped in 2022. Now, with no growth, there is no need for more managers and directors, so promotions slow down. Career mobility hits a wall. Google today has close to 200,000 employees. Meta has 75,000. That's the result of their success. Revenue charts look very similar. Big tech is no longer a growth engine. Size eventually makes companies slow and inefficient, with resources going to maintaining their dominance before innovating into the future. Google, Meta, and the other current big tech won't go into exponential growth anytime soon, and perhaps never again. With less growth and a generation of relatively young VPs and directors fiercely holding to their seven-figure packages, there will be dramatically less mobility and opportunity for growth. I met many Googlers who joined as a L4 or L5 engineer or product manager in 2010, and today they are VPs leading thousands of people without even the need to be exceptional. Someone joining Google today as a level 4 software engineer is very unlikely to ever make it to director roles, even if they are exceptional. So here's my final take. There are situations where I still think big tech is a great opportunity for you. If you are in mid to late career and can get through the interview process into big tech, go for it. The pay, prestige, and stability are still great, and you can shift from building to exploiting past experience. If you are in geographies in which big tech companies are investing in, generally low cost compared to headquarters, you might still be able to benefit from the conveyor belt effect of high growth. Because of the rise of AI, data centers are receiving a lot of attention and investments and experience fast growth. If you are a world-class PhD researcher working in a capital-intensive technology area, for example AI and quantum computing, it's not easy to get into the research departments of big tech, but that's still the place to be. But here's who should be cautious. If you are early in your career, and the type who wants to grow far and fast, you might want to consider joining a company that's earlier in the life cycle. Think of it as joining Google in 2010, just before the growth explodes. Yes, there is more risk, but you are trading that risk for a more dynamic environment. Google's core business is now a massive legacy infrastructure. The vast majority of people there are maintaining the existing systems, not building the new ones. You might also find yourself using proprietary tools that don't translate to other companies, which can hurt your long-term career mobility. The bottom line is, big tech won't be able to restore exponential growth as their business model is now very mature. If there is any growth, hiring will happen in lower cost tech hubs, not at company headquarters. Both economics and the rise of AI will continue to maintain that pressure for the foreseeable future. Now, you can decide whether or not you want to join big tech. Whichever the decision is, you can count on CareerZ Cast to help you prepare for your next transition. See you in the next episode of CareerZ Cast.